Welcome to another installment of the Sess Videoz Show. It's interesting. I found this guy, Tom Likas. This guy's really interesting. He got some points of views that I already was thinking and I agree with. We want to talk about some of it. It brought me to decide to do a show, So we're going to call this show, What Do I Want to Tell the Young Men About the Ladies? We're going to talk some truth about the ladies. Feel me? Let's talk about it. Yeah, now I'm going to have to call it like a dark truth about women. I know if I got 10 women listeners right now, 10 of y'all ain't gonna like what I'm gonna have to say. All right, but it's true. Now, for the young men out there, you gotta remember, it's a ratio thing. It's like this. Women, whether they're attractive or unattractive for the most part, have way more suitors than we have as men because they have a vagina. The power of sex draws in way more men in the benefit of women than it does women in the benefit of men. Money draws women in to your benefit. Okay, so what happens is an ugly woman can even frown and say, "Ew, no," and turn you down. A fat woman, unattractive, whatever, can frown and say, "Ew, no," and turn you down because on her Facebook profile or her Instagram, there's still tons of guys trying to get at her. So she's still on a no thing when it comes to sex because she gets to choose. So because of that, you got to understand how the game really goes down and play it to your advantage. So know and understand this. You got to get your education together. Why? You get your education together, showing showing the system how intelligent you are, that you can retain information and handle the business that they want to put you in charge of to make the best possible profit that you can in advance, to make the best possible profit that you can, so that you can have the stability, or for, not for lack of better words, a better word for stability in plain old man terms is finance, money. So you can be able to finance whatever the fuck the type of women that you like are into to get to meet these women. The truth is, the more money you have, the better quality of women you will be able to date. And it doesn't really matter what you look like. I mean, that's just the truth. Yes, I know you're going to hear a lot of stories when you're young about love and the truth of love and all this stuff, but that's bullshit. Spend your young, early years into your 30s gathering your money, getting your money strong, buying yourself a car, getting yourself a house, and then you pursue the women. In fact, you know who said it best? Scarface said it best. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. That's how that goes. Now, most of us don't follow that track. Most men don't follow that track. We fall in love with some girl that's the best lay we've had, and it stops right there. Some of us hold on to the single life too long. There's that too. I would never tell you not to settle down. I would just tell you to be prepared for what it comes with. If you want to hear less yin the negative direction from the ladies, then you want to have your finances in order. If you want to be able to pick and choose between the women that you can possibly date and sleep with, you want to have your finances in order. The women are going to say it's not true, but it is very, very true. Women don't care about any other thing if your money is right. When your money is not right, she has better suitors. She has better people that she can choose from. So she's gone. You can even have so-so money. And if a girl's market value or her attractiveness is high up there, chances are she'll be gone. Or you'll have a little trouble with her until you get that money right. Now, we can break down all the psychological stuff and how you treat her and all that kind of things and things about your sign and your zodiac and whatnot. And I hear all of those things, and maybe they do factor in on some small and minuscule level. But the fact of the matter is, the most effective thing is get your money right and then improve your sex life. That just is what it is, man. There's no renegotiating or changing that. That just is what it is. The price a man pays for a woman's beauty is endless. The prettier the woman is, and yes, there's always an exception. I'm not talking to that less than 1% exception. I'm talking about the norm. The prettier, the more attractive the woman is the higher your standards have to be, her standards will be. The higher the criteria will be for you to talk to her. And the one thing that levels the playing ground for a man is when you have your money right. You have your money right, and it levels the ground. You will always and endlessly be paying for an attractive woman. There's an understanding, especially in America, on how America sees its women. And even though they say independent and free thinking and all, that just simply means that she's free to get up and leave you for whoever she wants, whenever she wants, and there shouldn't be any questions asked. That's basically what that means. Because fellas out there, even guys with the money, how often have you met a woman that takes you to dinner? When it comes to marriage, how often do you hear about a woman that proposes to the man and buys the ring? But free and equal, right? Just saying. So yeah, you'll endlessly be paying for her beauty. So just keep that in mind. Money and women are tied together. You don't have one without the other. Mainly, if you have money, you will have women. The guys that have money and don't have women, they really tend to be the beta males. If you don't know what beta males are, I'll do another show on it or look it up. I'm not going to open class on that right now. If you know what beta males are, then you understand what I'm saying. They're the guys that they would have been hopeless regardless of money or no money. But there's some guys that are alpha males that if they had money, they know exactly what to do to make sure they can get at the ladies. The money extends the time and the places and the opportunity for you to have sex with her. And that's what that's about. Don't get me wrong, if you're attractive and all, that makes it even better. But the money trumps everything else. They'll tell you no. They'll give you a hard way to go. Some of them might make you wait and hassle you a bit. But that money trumps everything. Believe that. Most women think that they're the exception. Most women think they are the exception. You hear me? When you talk about certain things having to do with love, relationships, and women, especially if it doesn't look favorable on women, mostly all women will say, well, that's not me, though. There's very few women that'll own that shit and say, yeah, women get fucked up like that. We do fucked up shit like that. That's the nature of women. Because, there's some things that's the nature of man. And we do fucked up stuff like that. Well, in regard to the ladies, so I get it. But men will own up to that. Yeah, guys is like that. And we'll even try to give you resolutions on how to change, resolutions on it and points of views on how to change what's going on with that guy you might be addressing or asking about. But women, they'll lie 99.9% of the times. And they're always the exception. It's never them. It's never ever them. Interesting. Love. All right. To all my listeners out there, love is a very, very tricky thing. I don't think you should try to not allow love to take its course. I think that love is a chemical, emotional thing that happens, and you should let it run its course. You should learn from it what it has to teach you, and you should listen to it when it's being wise. And you know what I mean when it's being wise. You can be in love, and if a woman is just spending out your bank account, that love for yourself is telling you, hey man, she's spending out your bank account. So when love is being wise, you should listen to it. But the truth is, love doesn't exist the way we think it does. It's been sold to us and marketed to us every day of your waking life. You see something about love, but that's not real love. I beg to say that a lot of women are incapable of love. Their natural instinct to be preserved, to make sure that they can be taken care of, supersedes that. I think a lot of women end up settling instead of learning who they are, learning what men are, and then finding love. A lot of women end up settling because they chase these guys, the bad boys, that don't really want them, but they're stuck on thinking they can fix him or change him or just simply get him to want them. And they fool themselves. Love gets tricky. I would advise young men to stack your money while you're young and let love happen. You heard I said let love happen. Don't look for love. Let love happen when you get a little older, into your 30s, 35, 40. Believe me, it'll work out better. For men, you might as well call love finance. If you want marriage, you consider a marriage, change the word for marriage to long-term finance. If you want successful marriage, it's who has the better finance for long-time finance, who has the more stability situation for long-time finance. That's what love translates for a man. Translates to for a man. A woman can get married and choose not to work. No one looks at her different. Not the court, nothing. Morally, you might have some female judges that might contest it, but it's not a crime. If a man decides he's not going to work, everyone has something to say. It's a double standard, and it's the way it is. So believe me, love is a financial infraction for men. So get your money together first. All right? What Hollywood tells you about love is it's all slow singing and hand holding and tender looks in the warm rain. But that's not what it is at all. For a man, it's a lot of late night shifts if you're a regular blue collar guy. It's a lot of putting your own wants and feelings to the side and remembering all the things that's important to her. It's a lot of taking the importance off of yourself and putting everything on her. It's a lot of hoping that you are enough. It's a lot of giving from yourself. So much so that when they get up and decide that they found someone else or they leave, you're lost in who you are anymore. But Hollywood sells it to you as some cream puff shit. It's always meant to be and flowery. That's just not the reality to love. The truth to love is finance for a man. You'll have a lot of naysayers, but when you sit down and do the math, if you live it for a few years, you'll quickly realize that. There's a lot of men that I dare to say are wise that are choosing not to even get married now. They're backing out of their long-term relationships. There's a slow evolution going on. Interesting. What women will tell you about women? Women will tell you that it's about confidence. But I'm a man and I'm going to tell you, your confidence comes with your money in the world we live in. You have a lot of money, you're pretty confident in talking to any woman that you meet. I mean, I guarantee that. Anything else, you have something else going on that you can get help for and change, though, because you have the money to fix it if you have money. Women will tell you it's not about looks. Well, I know that looks is the number 2 thing after money. If you approach a woman and you're highly unattractive, it takes more to get her to see that you have money. You can still achieve your objective with money over looks. But I know that looks is number 2. A woman will lie and say it's not about looks. Women will tell you they don't like the jerks, but in fact, that's what makes their pussy wet. When you become the good guy and stop being a jerk, they lose interest. If the woman meets you and you're usually a jerk, but you're just a good guy to her, if she can't see you're a jerk to the rest of the world, they lose interest. They consider it a masculine trait. But yet still they'll lie and tell you they want those beta males. They don't want the beta. I'm an alpha that tripped up a little bit and reduced myself to being a beta. Yeah, that can happen because betas can raise themselves to alphas. So an alpha can reduce himself to a beta. But I already had lived as an alpha. So I know what it should be looking like, at least. Unlike a lot of guys I see are completely lost. So I began to stand up and put myself back to being an alpha. Because I could see that the betas, they lose a lot. They die a lot more inside. And I can't do it. But women will lie and tell you they want the sensitive guy in touch with his feminine side. No, they don't. They really don't. You don't have to take it from me. You can live it for yourself. You can waste that time for yourself, but be a jerk. Difference in races with women is that culturally, for example, black women weave their web of deception by putting out there that they don't need a man. For them, it's not really the confidence, it's that I don't need you. It's what they hear their mama say to their father, I don't need you. So they don't realize that concept is what keeps the family broken. They think it's the fact that they keep picking the wrong guys, and they see the world in such an skewed way, and they keep picking the wrong guys and reproducing, having children with the wrong guys, and the guys leave now, that it's the man's fault that the families aren't together. I can't tell you how many women I see that are baby mamas and meet a guy and try to make the guy that kid's father. But that's a whole other show topic in itself. I find that Spanish women, they, what we call cater, what I personally call care for their men more. They're more attentive to the male need. They call you out on being dominant. But they don't tell you they don't need you. White women, from my experience, white women doesn't care where she meets you. Their history is usually they come from a little privilege. At least it's been to my experience. So they'll see potential in you. They'll take you and dust you off and build you up. But then they expect you to stand as a man, though. You just got to know what the meaning of man is and stand. They definitely don't tell you they don't need you. But all women on a whole carry the same controlling aspects. Doesn't matter what race. If she makes more money than you, the respect level from her changes. So fellas, just keep that in mind. This is the light side of the things that I tell my sons. I'm breaking you guys in easy because you're just starting to get used to me. I'm not going to do a hype show yet. I want to do a show that you're listening while you're drinking your Hennessy. You're driving to school or work, coming home from school or work, you got your headphones on the bus. You're having a smoke session. And on an intellectual level, you wanted to hear something that it ain't a whole bunch of all in your ear, but something to think about. So there are differences in races and women to me. Didn't give much of an example, but I'm going to do a show about that. As I talk about it, it seems a bit more interesting than to just drop bits and pieces here. But overall, it's still money rules. Get your money together. The thing about women with money is that women that made their own money are usually pretty unattractive. Nobody wants to say it, but I'm going to say it. They're either gay, and to us as men, they're hot, or they're unattractive. There's some fat woman, old woman, just something like that. Prove me wrong. Yes, there's always exceptions, but you really have to search to find those exceptions. I mean, let's be honest. You really would have to search to find those exceptions. When you find those exceptions, you'll find that you're leaning into like one genre, like modeling or actresses, musicians, things like that, the arts, because they need to be attractive to sell what they're selling. So the thing about women with money is they're usually unattractive. But because they have the money, they view the market value that they have as different. When in fact, it really isn't for men. That's one of those blind corners that men have. How women have certain things that just don't change for them. For men, that's one of the things that just doesn't change. So you're still going to have to put out. Because you're simply not attractive. The finance is not a big thing for a guy. I mean, it's nice if you can buy him a car and some clothes, jewelry, help him through school, build a business, PlayStation. That's nice, but that's not what we're looking for necessarily. We're looking for the most attractive, consistent fuck that we can get attached to spiritually and emotionally. And women with money just tend to usually not fall into that category. I'm sorry. Hell, that's a show to itself too. Then I'm going to leave you with a piece of advice. To all the guys out there, if you've been living it already, to the young men coming up, don't tell women your problems. Don't tell women your problems. And if you're going to tell a woman your problem, don't let it be your woman. Don't tell your woman your problems. You don't tell her when you get laid off. Don't tell her when you get hired. Don't tell her when you have money, when you don't have money. That's the mystery that all women are looking for in a man. You don't tell them because they really just don't give a fuck. They don't want to know. They don't care how you got it. They don't want to know how you made it. To them, strength in a man is just saying yes and giving it to them. Or saying no and standing your ground with your no. So don't tell women your problems. Don't cry in front of her unless your mother died, your dog died, or you crashed your car. You don't cry in front of them. You don't tell them your problems. Women don't give a fuck. The more attractive they are is the least they give a fuck about what's going on in your day. How many women out there actually know not where their men work, but what their men do on their 9-to-5 jobs? Simple question, but if you ask around, you find out most women don't. They don't know. They know where he works. They might know he wears a suit and a tie or a jacket and jeans. For the most part, they don't know what the fuck he does. And when they do, it usually comes through them going up there and drawing or having some suspicion about someone on the job. Someone on their job or something. It's not through their own wanting to know and being interested in the man's life and his routine. Women care less about how you got it and what you had to do to get it. They don't care. They only care about you providing. Okay? Learn and understand that, and it's true. The last part I'm going to reiterate for you is don't let a woman know your finances. The safest thing you can do for yourself is to never let a woman know your finances, be it good or bad. You just try to date her and do what you can, how you can do it if you're going to date her. If you're going to fuck her, you pay for the room and get out of there as a man. You keep your financial situation to yourself. I would dare to say that if you're going into a long-term relationship, you keep your bank account, your bank book, all your credit card statements, all of that to yourself. Hold that as a personal thing. Keep it in a lockbox. You don't let her see it. You keep your finances to yourself. There's so many ways and directions in which that goes in. That's not love for a woman. All she wants to know is that you can pay for it. And they'll use it against you when they know exactly how you get it and how much of it is. You see, by the nature of a woman, if she knows you got $10, she needs something that costs $8.99. If she knows you have $100, she needs something that costs $79.99. So what do you think if she knows you have $1 million? She's going to need. Not want, but need. I say need because she needs this in order to keep the pussy coming to you regularly. Okay? It's all a game of sex and finances. Learn it, accept it, and understand it. It's a constant game of sex and finances. That's what I tell my sons about women. To all my listeners out there, thanks for listening and tuning in and giving me your ear. Think about what I had to say here. I mean, to each his own. You're going to find faults in it because it's really cold and how I dropped everything. But it's factual. Everything I said here it's all facts. It's an ugly truth that I learned. And as I talk to guys as I got older, the smarter guys, they learn it too. There's even some women that'll attest to that and tell you these things are true. So my young brothers, get your finances together. And then you get at the pussy. Because when your finances is together, there's no limit on how you get the pussy. When you get the pussy. How much of it you get. Hell, there's not even a limit on if she's married or not. Because they all have a price. It's just timing and finance. Thanks for listening out there. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. You know what I mean? Give me a pointer, an idea if you have one for me. Click on that like button because like lets YouTube know that you enjoy this content and other people enjoy it too. It adds it to their algorithm and pulls it up to the forefront when people Google searching for certain stuff. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button because when you subscribe, it's like you added me to your friends list. It's easier for you to find me, look for content. Hell, now I think we can even message each other with the friends connection. Hit the bell icon because the bell icon allows you to know exactly when I upload a video, so you can go tune right in and check it out. So don't forget to click on that bell icon. Again, this is Sess Videoz. Talking to you like 4 in the morning. But I was listening to some podcasting and it just hit on something. I just had to talk to my fans, my peoples out there. I had to get at my peoples out there and get this point of view across, y'all. So think about it. I love you. Be safe. This is Sess Videoz. And I'm out.